Welcome back to the True World Podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
Hello there, Mr. Jew. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
You notice I have my legs crossed?
Oh, yeah.
That's not a good thing.
No.
No. Remember, coaches or umpires, both feet flat on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Hands on your lap.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cross your legs.
Mm-hmm.
Good Taekwondo etiquette. Or is that more of a Korean etiquette?
Maybe just posture.
Posture.
Yeah.
Anyways,
okay,
look
this
so
week.
slouchy.
Yeah, this week I have a little question for you.
Okay.
So previously in the past, we've talked a little bit about some students that maybe want to continue Taekwondo through virtual.
Why would you do that?
Well, you know, like they move. We've had some people kind of move out of the area. They're kind of interested, and I think we've kind of come to the conclusion that with like color belts, that is a lot of their foundation, and it's a little bit difficult, especially if they're really young, if they're really low in rank. It's hard to see, and they don't get some of the aspects of Taekwondo that you would get being in class, right? But my question for you today is, let's do the opposite. They're a black belt. Maybe they're an adult and they move out of the area because of their job or personal reasons, right? And they want to continue virtually. Is that okay? Can they still continue to progress in the rank as well?
I've been thinking about that as well, and I'm kind of a fan of virtual, but then I'm also kind of like, it's not the same as virtual. I mean, as in person. And then I started to think a little bit about, this is not a new problem, really. Mm-hmm. The virtual part, the technology part is something that is quite amazing. So why do I say that? Well, think about it. General Che, when he first did Taekwondo, when he started to teach around the world, how many people was doing it? Well, he was the one that's teaching it, right?
Right.
And so he's got to get all these instructors on the same page. Mm-hmm. So I think in the first phase, he did have black belts, he did know people, he did know instructors around the world, and he asked them to teach Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. I think Junri is considered the father of American Taekwondo. Right? And he does the ITF pattern. Okay. But he does it slightly different, right? And I think that was true around the world because maybe their background was not with General Che at the time, right? But he did convince them to maybe teach Taekwondo.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, where the IIC came about. It's a way to make sure that everyone was on the same page. And so he started doing all these seminars around the world, right?
Right.
But, not everyone can go. And he was only one man. Mm-hmm. You can't go everywhere and teach all those classes all the time. Mm-hmm. And so, where am I going with this? Is I was kind of in the same boat because I did train with Grandmaster Sabri Saleh down in Santa Barbara. But when I graduated, or when I moved out of the area, and I was a first degree black belt, there was no ITF in the area. So what was I supposed to do? I did look at other martial art. I said, no, that's not for me. I need to do Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. But he was too far away, right? Mm-hmm. And then he moved, and then Grandmaster Wheatley kind of took over his studio, and he started developing his own thing. So what did I end up having to do was travel 400 or 500 miles. Mm-hmm. So that was only every 3 months or 6 months.
Right.
To get some kind of training. And usually when I went down there, is to take some students to get tested, and there was a little seminar.
Right.
It wasn't like day-to-day training. It's not. And maybe occasionally I would talk to him on the phone. Hey, sir, what about this technique? He might explain that on the phone. Right. And do we have that now? Yeah, absolutely. We still have that because people ask, well, I moved to Washington. Is there any school? Yes, there is a school up there, but it's also 500 miles away from them. It's like,
Right.
What do you do? In the old days, it's kind of like, well, if you can go over there, that's great. But if you're talking about maybe a kid, a teenager, that's probably not going to happen. I mean, It can happen. That person has to be really dedicated and really wants to progress on that. And so virtual, I think for a black belt, when they have a lot of the fundamentals, ideas, the concepts, I think it's possible, as we are still doing some of that as well, right?
Right.
It's not the same because, well, I do virtual classes a lot of times, and it's kind of just tied into my class, our regular classes.
Yeah.
And then I try to, I mean, it's different. You got to teach your class, and then you got to help the guys on virtually.
Right.
But unless you can watch them, you can't really help them that much. But they
Right.
get an idea because I'm explaining certain things in the class that maybe they might have picked up. You'd have to ask them for sure, right? Whether that's a good thing or not a good thing. I kind of think it's a good thing though. It keeps them engaged. It keeps them, maybe it brought up questions about, but it really is up to that person to train and then maybe go, how do you do that technique? Oh, I think Master Ju said such and such.
Right.
And that actually happened. I noticed a couple students doing that. Oh, you're doing what I talked about the other day.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think so. I think it's possible. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. You know, black belts should have that fundamental or foundational skill set, and then continuing, you know, wherever they are is a good thing.
Well, if you can do more of that, it's going to help a lot, right? It's not.
Right.
I mean, I think if I could tune in onto a class like that every week, I think I would have been a lot. I definitely would be more knowledgeable than just going and seeing my instructor every 3 months or 6 months or a year, whatever it is.
Right.
Right.
Maybe only preparing a little bit before the test, then, and then not, right?
Dialing for dollars here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the reason why we do that. It's because you wanted to learn. Again, I think that's going to be I think it's going to be a kind of a, you're really going to be testing those tenets of Taekwondo, right? Perseverance. It's hard enough for people to just to come to class, right?
And then to be able to
Do it
work
online?
out on your own. No, work out on your own is even harder.
Oh, yeah.
So at least doing it virtual
that's going to
is
be hard.
It's hard, but it's a step better than doing it on your own.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you can't find yourself working out and you go, you know, there's a virtual class on this at this time and this day, and I'm going to jump in on it, at least you got that.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's just one of those things that happens to everyone, you know. It's hard to get to Taekwondo, you know, we got other things to do, and then it's too hard to get online, or whatever.
Right.
So it is that person really wants to do it, would make it work.
Right. All right, let us know your guys' thoughts on black belts continuing once they move out of the area.
Yeah, you guys keep working out.
That's right. And as always, don't forget to be safe,
Keep training.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Taekwondo.